I'm not any less grumpy than I was last night. Last week there was a great one in work and casting. There's been no break today. So I think it's really fine. The municipality was approached by some members of the Royal Canadian Legion with the concern over the state of our current cenotaph. And the veterans who belong to this Legion had concerns that it wasn't memorializing, the state of it wasn't memorializing the memory of those who have been killed in battles in different wars properly, and wanted to see something that was much more suitable and appropriate to ensure that we, the ones who are left behind, have the ability to remember year after year after year. Today, 3 of those gentlemen who aren't with us, Dave Wyndham, who was on a 2-month cruise, Ken Birch, who was in Mexico, and retired General Ian Douglas, who was also in Mexico, left myself, John Halcrow, and Barb Graham, and Emily Rowley to do all the heavy lifting during the winter, and are happy to be back and trying to raise some money and get this thing off the ground.
It's great to be here this afternoon to make such an important announcement. Important because we're recognizing, once again, some people who need to be forever thanked for the ultimate sacrifice. But I will begin by saying that the Minister and I were elected about the same time, so we get to see each other in Ottawa. Not as often as we used to, because he's kind of a busy guy, but I know we tripped him in the hallway and suggested that he wants to come to Brighton because we have an important project, and the Minister's folks worked on a very well done application. I wonder if they had help with it, but a wonderful application that actually meets the criteria 110%.
Did my predecessor, Minister Jean-Pierre Blackburn, launch a program that is up until 2015. It's called, I would call it a Cenotaph Restoration Program. It's a $6 million program that is aimed at restoring in our communities the face of our cenotaph, who sometimes has been impacted by the year. And as you know, generations of Canadians have sacrificed a great deal so that we may live in peace. And we are grateful for what Canada's veterans have accomplished and for what the military does every day for our country. We have a responsibility to honor and remember them forever. And the municipality of Brighton is doing it well, since you have a street on the name of Veterans Way. So, Mr. Mayor, maybe we could take a walk, and I'd be more than happy to have my picture taken with you and Rick under the Veterans Way with a member of the Royal Canadian Legion. I will put it on my Facebook. You can be sure of that.
When we get involved in things, a lot of us, we do it for selfish reasons. And I just wanted to share what my selfish reason is for getting involved in cenotaph. My great uncle's name was on the cenotaph that sits there along with his cousin. He was 16 years old and killed at the Battle of the Somme. I was present on April 9th, 2007, when we did the official grand reopening of the Vimy Memorial in France, along with many of your colleagues. Minister Kenny was there, Pierre Poilievre, the Prime Minister. I was working for Rick at the time. And it was an absolute fantastic feeling to be part of that day. The Queen was there, and my uncle's name is on the same memorial. He was killed in battle and buried in an unmarked grave. That excitement, I can feel it already starting to think about when we unveil this new project on hopefully November 11th of this year. I truly believe that we'll get there with the $100,000 that we've heard about today. The monument itself will be built. The committee are going to undertake a fundraising of $50,000 more to finish off the project properly, and we are very confident that come November 11th, and this is Barb, Don and Barb, they're our fundraising folks, that we'll be ready to go.
Next year will be the 60th anniversary of the armistice of the Korean War. It will also be the 50th anniversary of the Cyprus mission, one of the very first Cyprus peacekeeping mission that has been so important in recognizing the role of Canada as an international leader in that field. And of course, in 2014, we'll be commemorating the centennial of the First World War. And I'm very pleased to announce today that with the program, we'll be able to make sure that the city of Brighton will be ready, and that's why we'll also be very be happy to work with the local people who are willing to get involved in that project. So let me just tell you that the Community War Memorial Program helps communities and organizations to build cenotaphs or monuments or make major additions to existing ones to promote and preserve the memory of all those who have served Canada. In honor of the local citizens who made the supreme sacrifice in the First World War, the Brighton Cenotaph was constructed in 1923 and later unveiled in 1927 by the very first Canadian appointed commander of the Canadian Corps, Sir Arthur William Corry. So this is an important part of history. Over the years, I was able to see when I arrived here in Brighton at noon that plaques to honor those who fell in subsequent wars were added. However, time has taken a toll on this noble concrete monument, and it is weathered beyond repair. So thanks to a group of dedicated and passionate people, a new Brighton War and Peacekeeping Memorial will rise from the base of the old. I think at this point in time, the Brighton Memorial Cenotaph Committee brought together the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 100 and the Council and Municipality of Brighton to lead the charge on this project, demonstrating leadership and strong values of civic responsibility. I applaud your efforts for restoring this important milestone in the landscape of your city, and I think I would invite us to give a good round of applause for the City of Brighton and the Royal Canadian Legion for this leadership. And so now we can put the drums. I'm happy to say that we are part of this program thanks to your good work, and we are happy to provide a $50,000 grant for helping this project to move on.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. It was very nice. It means a lot to this town to have that new monument. Believe me, it's going to be very impressive come Remembrance Day. We have a great number of veterans here in Brighton. We also have a contingent that comes up from the Air Force Base. It's a very large turnout for a very small town. I will be most proud also because I have an uncle that is buried in Italy, killed in the Second World War, and I will be placing a stone up there on his behalf.
As Mayor, it is my privilege to welcome the Honourable Steven Blaney, Minister of Veteran Affairs to the Municipality of Brighton. Additionally, I would like to extend greetings to our Member of Parliament, Rick Norlock, our members of Council, members of the Cenotaph Committee, Royal Canadian Legion Branch 100 President Brian McKenzie, Legion members, ladies and gentlemen.
In this community, more than many communities, being so close to CFE Trent, we understand how, the sacrifice that men and women give every day just by being who they are. But this peacekeeping and war memorial will go a long way to ensuring that for generations to come, we have a very worthy project that will remind our grandchildren, not just ourselves and our children, but our grandchildren, of the importance of standing up and doing what's right for your country.
Your visit to Brighton for this Cenotaph funding announcement is most sincerely appreciated, as is your continuing commitment to honor the thousands of veterans who have served our country with pride. The Government of Canada, through the Community War Memorial Program, is fulfilling its commitment to further commemorate the courage and sacrifices of our veterans and members of our armed forces. Gentlemen, Minister Blaney and Member of Parliament Norlock, on behalf of this Council, our community, thank you for this generous funding grant towards the Cenotaph replacement of Brighton. We are most grateful to both of you for making time to be here with us this afternoon in Brighton for this very, very special announcement. Thank you. In addition to that, I would also like to announce at this time that through our budgeting process, we have allocated a dollar-for-dollar matching amount that you have presented. With that, I would like to thank our members of council as well as staff in helping with our budgeting.
we are ecstatic to be able to be part of this. We're ecstatic that you're here, Minister. And Rick, thank you for bringing the Minister. Minister, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. Hey, Rick.
Yeah, I know, you're a lucky guy.